already day 19 in the 21 days of Yule. That means there's only 2 more days left after today, but let's take a look and see what we have in store for today. Today's parchment says kitchen witchery. Okay, so today's activity is kitchen witchery. And before I get into what I have here on the table, I just want to give you a quick overview of my personal approach to kitchen witchery. Now, I'm sure there's all kinds of officialness books or articles on how this is done, but for my practice, it comes down to simply intent. With intent, you can do kitchen witchery with whatever ingredients, foods, anything like that, beverages that you have on hand. To do today's activity, you just need something to work with. It can be anything from pouring a glass of water, although I prefer at least 2 things mixing together. You can literally do this with anything that requires just a little bit of physical attention from you. That can be making your dinner this evening, or as simple as pouring and mixing a cup of tea, perhaps with some sugar, honey, or milk. For today's example, I'm going to be using milk and Nesquik chocolate powder to make myself some chocolate milk. But the point I want to get at here is that kitchen witchery is ultimately about the mindset that you bring to the activity. The idea with kitchen witchery for me is that I want to imbue whatever foods or beverages I'm going to consume or my family's going to consume with a particular magical intent. And therefore I charge and work with the ingredients as if they were just any fancy magical ingredient, only they're just regular things that are in my home. Now, I will say as a disclaimer that I don't like to do any kind of kitchen witchery or food magic on anyone who has not consented to that magic. I think that with things like this, it's just important to have everybody's buy-in. For example, I know that my one son would be probably pretty uncomfortable if I did this without checking with him. I just know him and I know that that would be a factor. But Peggy, for example, I could charge the heck out of anything I was bringing her, and obviously provided those were good intentions, she would be completely fine with that. So I think it's important to have those conversations with people in your life if you want to use this method as part of your regular practice. But it's also really useful just for self-magic, which is why I'm using milk and chocolate powder today for myself, because this is a piece of magic I plan to use for me. So if you'd like to participate along with this activity, then just grab any kind of beverage or tea or anything where you can mix something in, because today's activity is going to be about intent and using that intent while stirring. So for my personal magic today, I'm going to be charging this very generous amount of chocolate powder because, newsflash, I use an obscene amount of chocolate powder when I make chocolate powdered milk. But I'm going to be charging this with an intent for self-compassion and self-soothing. So it's been a really difficult day for me today. And what I really want to do here is introduce some self-love in a very tangible way. That also went into my choice for choosing a decadent treat like this for myself, because I felt like it would be something that would feel very comforting, would connect me with my inner child and make that inner child feel seen and accepted and loved. And I just felt like that would be really useful. So I'm going to take my first ingredient here, which is my milk, and I'm just going to wrap my hands around it and focus my intent on that feeling that I want to feel. I want to feel loved and whole and safe. I want to feel comforted and secure, held, protected, loved. And then I'm going to do the same exact thing with the chocolate powder. Only this time I'm going to take my active hand and I'm going to hold it over top. And as I hold it over top, I'm going to concentrate all of my focus and intent on those same things I want to feel. When I feel ready, I'm going to add the ingredients together and then use this giant spoon to stir. Now, stirring is one of my favorite ways to bring in kitchen magic, because with the direction of your stir you can basically focus your intent. So in a lot of neo-pagan practices, in a lot of like Western Wicca and witchcraft and that sort of thing, we look at clockwise as a direction that will clockwise as a direction that will attract or draw in energy, and counterclockwise as a direction that will banish or release energy. Now, hopefully my camera is recording in a way that it's going to show the correct direction, but I am going to be stirring clockwise. If it looks otherwise, it's because I've got my camera at a funny angle and it may look different. I don't know. So I'm going to focus my intent while I add the ingredient, and I may, if I were on my own, I'm not going to do this on camera because I feel like words like this to me are very powerful and private. I may speak words, I may hold the chocolate near my mouth and literally whisper words of power into the chocolate. I might do the same thing with the milk. I might speak over the milk and the chocolate as I'm stirring and combining them together. But for sure, once I start stirring and I see the milk swirling in the glass and the ingredients combining, I'm going to be focusing on bringing these ingredients together as sort of an alchemical process of inviting in those emotions and those properties that I wanted to imbue in this particular drink. And of course, one of the most important parts of kitchen magic or kitchen witchery is consuming what you have made and inviting all of that energy into your body. I hope you enjoyed today's installment of the 21 Days of Yule. I'm really enjoying this, and I am looking forward to seeing you for tomorrow's activity. Bye!